Good day and welcome to our daily news roundup on Atlantic TV. I'm Mike Egobadia. Here are our top stories. NIMET issues flood alert for 13 states in August. Police restrict Amotekun vigilante from Osun governorship polls. Tinubu unveils plan to attract $50 billion offshore investment. And on the foreign scene, Zimbabwe ferry collapse, killing 15 and leaving dozens missing. And talking sport, Oshuala urges fans to back Super Falcons against South Africa. Now to the news in full. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has warned of possible flash floods in 13 states between August 11th and 20th of 2026. In our advisory, the agency identified Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, Niger, Kaduna, Nasarawa, Adamawa, Plateau, Benue, Kogi, Taraba, Cross River, and Akwa Ibom states as high risk of flash flooding. NIMET said the affected areas could experience localized flooding, especially in low-lying urban, riverside, and other flood-prone communities. It warned that heavy rainfall could disrupt transportation, damage roads and bridges, affecting electric and telecommunication service, and reduce visibility for motorists and aviation operators. The agency warned or urged residents to monitor weather forecasts and flood alerts, avoid walking or driving through flooded roads and fast-flowing water, and relocate to safer areas when necessary. It also advised emergency agencies to strengthen preparations, while farmers were urged to improve drainage and move livestock, machinery, and harvested crops away from flood-prone areas. The federal government said it's intensifying efforts to end farmers-herders clashes through the rehabilitation of grazing reserves and the establishment of modern ranching settlements in 6 priority areas. The Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Murtar, disclosed these after meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja. He identified Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa, Kaduna, Adamawa, and the Federal Capital Territory as major flashpoints targeted for the intervention. Murtar said the government has identified 417 grazing reserves nationwide and commenced in pilot ranching project in Plateau State. He said the initiative will reduce cattle movement, which the government considers a major trigger of rural conflict, while providing livestock with adequate feed and water. The minister said the proposed ranching communities could include housing, veterinary clinics, schools, healthcare facilities, solar power, and also water infrastructure. He added that government was also introducing livestock identification through radio frequency ear tags to track animals, establish ownership, and tackle cattle rustling. Now, talking politics, the Nigerian police force has barred Amotekun vigilante groups, hunters, associations, and other non-state security outfits from participating in security operations during the Saturday's Osun State governorship election. Now, the force said the groups were not authorized to escort electoral materials, guide polling units, mount checkpoints, or carry arms during the election. It warned political parties, candidates, and supporters against violence, intimidation, vote buying, ballot snatching, and other electoral offenses. The police said the advised security agencies include the DSS, NSCDC, Immigration Service, Correctional Service, and the FRS will join the police in securing all 30 local government areas of the state. The deployment will cover polling units, collation centers, electoral materials, officials, observers, journalists, and also voters. The Inspector General of Police, Tunji Dusu, directed personnel to operate professionally and impartial, while warning that anyone involved in thuggery, incitement, unlawful possession of electoral materials, or the deployment of unauthorized security outfits would be arrested and prosecuted. The presidential candidate of the Nigerian Democratic Congress, Peter Obi, has warned against accepting unverified academic credentials in leadership, saying the practice could undermine standards and accountability in Nigeria. Obi made the remarks in a statement titled, "By making excuses for unverified certificates, we are planting poison in the soul of our society." He said credential verification could not be viewed through the lens of political loyalty, but as an issue of integrity and accountability. The former Anambra State governor warned the abandoning basic verification could create a dangerous precedent with unqualified individuals potentially occupying sensitive positions. He stressed that Nigeria must uphold standards regardless of who is involved. Obi urged Nigerians to build a society where truth and accountability are applied equally, saying the country must choose standards over political sentiment and protect its future from the consequence of compromising established procedures. Talking business, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved new framework aimed at attracting up to about $50 billion in fresh investment into the Nigerian deep offshore oil and gas sector. The reform replaces the previous system of negotiating separate agreements for individual projects with a uniform framework that provides clear eligibility criteria and implementation rules for investors. The government says the move is expected to revive major offshore projects that have stalled for years, including Shell estimated $10 billion Bunga Southwest project. Under the new framework, NNPC Limited will be able to amend eligible production sharing contract to facilitate the implementation of the incentives. The government says the policy will also prioritize local preparation and participation in engineering, fabrication, marine logistics, and other technical service. The presidency says the reform is designed to create greater certainty for investors, boost oil and gas production, generate skilled jobs, and strengthen Nigeria's position as a hub for deep offshore operations in Africa. African airlines and major aviation industry groups have opposed attempt by government to impose charges on airlines and passengers for advanced passenger information API and passenger name record PNR system. The African Airlines Association, Airlines Association of Southern Africa, and International Air Transport Association said they support the use of systems to strengthen border security, but insist that government should bear the cost as part of their responsibility for border control. The aviation bodies warned that passing the cost to airlines and passengers could increase airfares, weaken connectivity, and affect tourism, trade, and investment across the continent. They also called for clear legal and operational framework before the system are introduced. The association urged African government to ensure that API and PNR programs comply with international standards and protect passengers' data. They said the system could be guided by legality, preparation, and purpose, limitation, consistency, and also accuracy. With that business news, we need to go on the break now, but do rest assured that when we come back, more news as it concerns the foreign scene and the ever-exciting world of sport.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
At least 15 people have died and 27 others remain missing after an overloaded ferry capsized on Lake Kariba in Zimbabwe. The Civil Protection Unit said the vessel overturned on Tuesday after encountering strong waves. At least 77 people were rescued, while officials confirmed that the ferry was carrying more than its capacity of 90 passengers. Authorities said the ticket records showed 114 adults and 5 crew members were on board, although the number could be higher because some children may not have been registered. Rescue operations are ongoing with police, divers, the military, and emergency teams deployed to search the lake. Witness said the ferry may have been hit by a large wave in bad weather, causing its engine to fail before the vessel overturned. United States President Donald Trump has confirmed that his security switched planes during the NATO summit in Turkey last week because of a potential assassination threat from Iran. Trump said the decision was made on the advice of the Secret Service and the military, but added that he believed the aircraft he eventually boarded may have faced an even greater risk. The switch reportedly took place on July 8 in Ankara, with Trump transferred from the presidential aircraft to a military plane using a catering truck. The White House did not publicly disclose the move at the time. The operation reportedly remained undisclosed until it was revealed by the Washington Post this week. Journalists and senior aides remain aboard the original presidential aircraft, reportedly unaware that Trump had already left the plane. And talking sports, Super Falcons forward Asisat Oshola has called on Nigerians to rally behind the team as they face South Africa in a crucial 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup playoff on Thursday. Nigeria lost their automatic qualification opportunity after a 1-0 defeat to Cameroon, the WAFCON quarterfinal. The result means the Falcons must now navigate the playoff route to keep their hopes of reaching the World Cup alive. Oshola acknowledged the team's recent struggles but said the players were determined to respond against South Africa. She urged Nigerians to support the Falcons, stressing that the World Cup ticket is at stake. Nigeria has featured in every edition of the Women's World Cup since the tournament began in 1991. Oshola also admitted that other African teams are closing the gap and said the Falcons must work harder to maintain their dominance on the continent. And still talking sport, football superstar Cristiano Ronaldo and his longtime partner, Georgina Rodriguez, has married in a private ceremony in the Portuguese resort town of Cassia. The couple's representative said the intimate ceremony was attended by their 5 children. Ronaldo, 41, later shared a photo of their hands wearing wedding rings on Instagram, captioned with C and G alongside a heart. The wedding came exactly 1 year after Rodriguez, 32, announced their engagement. The couple began dating in 2016 after meeting while Rodriguez was working at a Gucci store in Madrid. Ronaldo currently plays for Saudi Arabia club Al Nassr and has won the Ballon d'Or 5 times. Rodriguez has also built a public profile through her Netflix series, I Am Georgina, while the couple has developed investment in fashion and also hospitality. Congratulations to them. We need to go check what the weather will look like for major cities across Nigeria today. For the weather forecast, that brings us to the end of the news on Atlantic TV. I remain Michael Gobadia. God bless you. Have a great day.